Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
Isabel Perez and her family will be starting over. Typhoon Mangkhut took her family's roof, destroying most of their possessions in the process. Forced to take shelter at a nearby school during the height of Mangkhut's passage, Isabel and the family had no idea they'd lost everything until they went back home the next day.
We all cried when we saw my mom break down, and she was saying it to herself that you know, if it's not livable, she's worried about our children. Just watching her cry was emotional. It hurt to see your mother cry because your father put all his work into a 20-some year. We've been 20-some years old, and only this typhoon took our home. So to see my mom cry like that, it's emotional.
Perez, her young children, and her mother, Doris Gogui, now living at the northern shelter at the Istumbo gym. Perez showed us the kids' room, where beds were soaked and the ceiling opened up to blue skies. Just a couple of days ago, these skies full of typhoon-force winds and torrential rains. Now, the family stays in a 10-foot by 10-foot square, sharing 2 bathrooms with nearly 300 other people who have been displaced by Typhoon Mangkhut.
There's no place like home, and to have it taken away from you, I'm pretty sure it's going to hurt you too.
She tells KUAM News prayer and family have held them together, but they're still coping with how they'll get back on their feet again.
Pray for everybody, just not us, but everybody else that lost their home. Because it does hurt. It really does hurt to come home and then knowing you have nowhere to take your babies. It does hurt.
At the Istumbo gym, families mingling with one another. Some slept in the breezy gym, while these children passed the time playing cards. So what has it been like for you guys here?
Awesome.
You having fun?
Yeah.
Back at Isabel's family home, she showed us a statue of the Virgin Mary that weathered the storm. While the house's roof blew away and the family's belongings were destroyed by wind and water, this statue stayed put. Perez telling us she believes Mother Mary did her best to protect the home.
We just come and my mom would burn the candle and pray to her and tell her, thank you, at least you gave us something.
Guam Congresswoman Madeline Bradallo pushing President Trump to declare Guam a federal disaster area, and that would open up federal assistance for Perez and others who have suffered devastating loss because of Mangkhut.
If there's no state of emergency, as you can see, we're going to end up using the same tins, and then the next storm comes, blows it away, we're just probably going to do the same thing.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Chris Barnett.
Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.